All right, welcome to another DFW Running Talk. I'm Chris Detzel, and today's special guest is Ryan Burrell. Ryan, how's it going?
I'm doing fine, Chris. How are you?
Good. I'm glad you got on. This is going to be exciting. What did I tell you? I think when I first met you, I don't even know, maybe it was a year ago, but you were telling me a little story around your first marathon that you wanted to run. But that was like 8 months, 10 months away. It was Houston Marathon, which was this year, 2026. You ran your first marathon, but you ran some 5Ks and 10Ks, maybe halves, I don't know, really fast. I told you, I was like, when you're done with your marathon, I'm very interested in how you do. And you reached out and you said, hey, I'm done with my marathon. And here we are.
Yeah.
Do you remember that conversation?
So I know we met at the Velvet Hammer.
Oh, that's right. That's the
Yeah.
5Ks.
That was the one where my coach Matt and the other Sloth folks, like we all showed up, and it was kind of like a Sloth takeover. So
It was crazy too. I mean, you guys got like I don't know. There's one guy that kind of got in the top 5. That wasn't a Sloth, I think, but the rest of you guys were right
I
there.
think we took like top 4 or 5 spots, and then thinks one person got 8th, I think.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah. I mean, it was pretty crazy, but it was kind of cool. I got a photo and everything. But yeah, that was the first time we met, but then we met a few other times and talked about the podcast a little bit. But
yeah.
I would love, so just kind of the hook here is Ryan ran his first marathon, and we'll talk about this later, at a 2:53 in Houston. Is that right?
Yeah, 2:53:01. Yeah.
Man, if you would have just ran 2 seconds faster.
Yeah, I could have been 2:52. I know. Yeah, like
You live and learn, man. But hey, 2:53:01 is phenomenal, amazing for your first. But before we go through that, let's talk a little bit about your journey, who you are. You're 28 years old, and would love to know kind of your running journey and how you got started. Did you play sports in high school or anything? Or
Yeah, I ran track in high school, but even before that, I started running in 8th grade.
okay,
I started out trying to be a sprinter. Like my very first race ever was 100 meters. I mean, everybody wants to be a sprinter. So
of course, those guys' legs are huge.
yeah. Very first race was 100 meters, and I got smoked. Like, I thought I was pretty fast, but I realized I'm not that type of fast, like explosive speed type of fast. So then, through 8th grade, they put me in like the 400 and stuff, and I did okay. But I didn't really get into the distance running until like high school.
Okay.
And
So you actually ran distance in high school.
my main race was the 1 mile.
Okay. What was your best in the mile back then?
4:23, or I guess 1600 technically, which 10 meters shorter than a mile, 2 second. Like
We don't have to be
difference.
technical. In high school, it's 4 laps around the track.
Yeah, 4
That's
laps.
what we know. So
4:23.
that's pretty good. Did you win? Did you win any of those?
I didn't win state. Like I remember I got 4th at state and
Still,
things like that. I
which
mean,
high school did you go to?
Baton Rouge High. I'm from Louisiana.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah,
All
but
right. So you ran the mile, and did you do anything else besides the mile, or and you went to state 4th place? Pretty good.
yeah, I was on the on our 4x8 relay. I was the first leg on that. And I did the 3200 sometimes. My best race by far was the mile. I mean, I wasn't too shabby in those other races. I think I did a 2:01 800 and a 9:48 800. Excuse me, 9:48 3200.
2 mile.
Yeah. And in cross country, Louisiana's a little weird. Well, I think they might have changed this now, but when I was running back then, they only did 3 miles and not the full 5K. But
Oh, really? Just 3
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. My best 3 mile I remember was like 15:12. Yeah, which
I mean,
would
that's pretty good for high school.
would have been about a 15:45 for the full 5K, I believe.
Yeah. Did you win then? Any of those, or was it?
I got top 10 at state, and I got like
Oh, you went to state. I
yeah.
mean, it's like you go to state. That's pretty awesome.
And I mean, I had like some all-state award or something like that as well.
So long ago, 10
Yeah,
years ago plus
yeah. Time passes.
for you. All right. So you did some running in high school, quite a bit, distance and things like that. What did you do after high school? Did you do any running after that, or?
Yeah, I ran in college for 1 year, but I would have ran more than that. But pretty much, I actually realized this recently, looking back based on like going through ChatGPT. But towards like the later parts of like high school, like towards the middle to end of my senior year, and it got worse in like college. But I really trained incorrectly throughout high school. Now, I didn't train
We all
like
do that.
most distance runners train. I almost trained like a sprinter a little bit. Is in like just hard, like extremely hard reps, like repeat fours, 800s, just blazing like 1200 meter like reps.
You weren't doing any long, slow stuff.
No. And yeah, like at least according to what ChatGPT was telling me, like I guess I had the talent to be able to do that for some time, but eventually without like a sufficient aerobic base, it'll start crashing down. So I mean, I think my story is like a testimony to why easy running is important. I think ChatGPT said that it was like neuromuscular fatigue that I went through. And I'm saying, I keep on talking about ChatGPT because before nobody knew what was going on with me, like why my performances started to drop. And I mean, I didn't know. Like it just felt like my body just wasn't responding anymore. Like no matter how much I tried, like my legs just didn't have that snap anymore. And again, I didn't know what was going on. Nobody else could tell me. Like it's not like a injury, but it just
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I mean when I discovered it on ChatGPT after all this time, I was like, you know what, that was it. Like that's exactly it. I mean, and it's crazy that after all that time, I mean, I discovered that I think a couple months ago that like
Well, I think, Ryan, that when you look at that kind of running, a lot of us do that. And a lot of us will, maybe you're talking about something different, but a lot of, like, I remember, I'll give you an example. When I started running again, like when I was 37, I'm 50 now. 14 years ago, when I started running, I'd start running like when I got into it, every mile, it was like, I would run a 10K 4 days in a row, but I was
yeah.
trying to beat yesterday's 10K. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we don't know, we don't know what we don't know. And especially if you don't have like a coach that is trying to tell you that, hey, look, you definitely in a mile, you're going to have to run a lot of speed work
Mhm.
to get fast. But there's probably 3 or 4, in my mind, let's do a long run, like 4 miles a week or something like that, of somewhat slow and not necessarily, the speed stuff. I'm not saying you don't need the speed stuff for a mile, 2 miles, whatever. And you do. I mean, that's really how you're going to get faster. But I'm with you. Your body's going to break down and your body's going to get really tired. And that's all you're doing with these hardcore workouts all the time.
Yeah.
I think we know this now.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of us, people that have been running for a long time, but I think that is a good point, is when you're first starting out to run, don't go sprint every mile like, you're getting better. You're just going to get hurt and or fatigued. So long runs and slow, or maybe 2 or 3 times a week, you do some speed work, maybe twice. I don't know. When you
Mhm.
first start out, maybe it's once, you
Yeah.
just need to get the miles. For the first, in my mind, you could,
Yeah.
if you're training
I
for a
want-
marathon. All right.
Yeah.
I digress a little, but you learned a little bit about, using ChatGPT, but I think
Mhm.
that's probably what you're talking about. If not, let me know. So you
Yeah.
start kind of getting into college, you ran just for a year. Did you just like, screw college, it sucks, or what?
So it was a continuation of I guess what I was going through because I mean it like it started in like I think the middle of my senior year and it got worse. And in
Uh,
college, obviously I'm running against world competition, so
yeah, it's a lot
yeah,
harder.
yeah, I'm actually like I'm getting destroyed out there. That's not really good for my confidence anymore. And again, I know that I guess like before I'm thinking I'm like, man, if I would have been able to run like what I ran in my junior year, then I could have did this or that. And I don't know why. And
Yeah.
again, and since I'm a freshman in college, most of the people don't even know me, so they really think I'm just whining and complaining, about whatever and stuff. So yeah, like after about a year, yeah, I left or well, I left the track team. I said I was gonna come back as soon as I felt better, and then I
Yeah.
didn't really feel better because I mean, I guess it doesn't heal that fast. And that's what
Mhm.
damage doesn't get undone. And so yeah, I stopped, and I honestly didn't intend on coming back. I didn't plan on it. It wasn't until I moved here to Dallas, and I remember I was doing like for a short time I was doing like boxing classes and stuff. And
When did you move to Dallas? What year?
2024, summer of
Oh,
2000.
okay. So not that long ago.
No, excuse me, my bad. 2021.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Summer of
So you've been here for
2021. Yeah.
4 years or so,
Yeah, yeah,
5
yeah.
years now. So yeah.
Yep, yep.
Okay, good.
Boxing instructor I had, older Scottish guy, was doing
Mhm.
like marathons and half marathons. Was in his early 60s and running pretty good times for those distances. Like 130, 135 or something for the half and things like that. He motivated me to kind of get back into it. So I remember
This is
now,
your boxing guy that you were talking to?
yeah, boxing
Okay.
instructor. Yep.
Yeah, and he
Um,
was into halves and fulls and stuff. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Just talking to him, like it kind of got me back interested. So that was pretty much like 4.5 years after I quit in college.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'd gained weight and everything too. Wasn't in his
that happens.
yeah.
It's normal.
Yeah.
But I think you and I both know how to lose it, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
just
now. Yeah.
run.
Yeah, run and eat better, yeah.
Well, eating is probably 80 to 90% of it, right? You know,
Yeah.
you're only going to lose a certain thing. You will lose some weight for sure. Just exercising, it only goes so far. 80 or 90% of this
Yeah.
diet. So,
Yeah.
all
But
right. So you saw this boxing instructors like, dude, you should get into it. So what'd you do?
yeah, I was running on my own. I didn't know of any run clubs around here.
Yeah. You'd probably even think about it.
Yeah, nah. And I was just running like from my apartment and stuff. And I remember I hadn't learned my lesson yet about the run easy. So I was trying to just run. I remember I could, no matter what, I could always average at bare minimum like 8 minute pace or something, even
Okay.
going to like the sevens, like the high sevens somewhere even back then. But I wasn't even paying attention to heart rate or anything like that. So I would go until I just couldn't go anymore,
Wow.
which would have been anywhere between like 2 miles, then it would go up to like 3, maybe 4 miles or whatever like that. But as soon as like I felt like I needed to stop, I just stopped, and then I'm like, well, that's it, the run's done.
But there's no really program. You just got back into running.
Yeah,
Did you start losing weight a little bit or no? By doing
a
that?
little bit, but
Or was it not?
I was still
Oh,
eating trash. I mean, it was kind of minimal. I mean, and plus since I had just moved out here, I want to check out all these new food spots.
Exactly. Well, I hear you. That makes sense. There's a lot of good food in Dallas. So, all right. So you kind of got into it, checking out the food spots, just doing a little bit of running, hard running. Do you sign up for a race at any of those times or not really or what?
Yeah, yeah. My first race that I signed up for, like post like college, it was the Turkey Trot down there in Baton Rouge, and I signed my
Okay.
mom up to
Cool.
like
Was she a runner at all or no?
no, she just it just her to get some exercise in, so
Kind of walk it or
mhm.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
I know some people like do races like with their parents or whatever, and they run with them. I'm pretty bad. I'm too competitive about it. I'm like I'll
Yeah.
see the finish line, but
I'm sure she didn't care.
yeah, but I remember I didn't have a watch. I didn't even really like run with my phone to try to pace with any like external app or anything like that. I really just went out. I felt like I was dying pretty much. Like I did like a 22 minute and like 30-second 5K, and I remember
I
I
mean,
wanted
that's
to
pretty good.
walk so bad.
Yeah.
Um
Well, it's
like
normal.
yeah, I wanted to walk so bad, but the only thing that stopped me was my pride because I was thinking back to like high school.
Right.
I don't know what my pace like look what my splits were. Like I'm pretty sure they were just crap. So yeah, but after that race, I mean, I kind of got bit by the bug again. It's like okay, I want to drop my time now.
Yeah.
it pretty much re-sparked that interest. So then I did some other 5Ks like here in Dallas. I one of them was at Christmas 5K, Trinity Groves, and then I did the Irving St. Patty's 5K. I did
Okay.
like 21:30 or something, and
Better
then
than 22?
yeah, a whole 1 minute PR. And then at this time I still wasn't following any plan. I was still doing the same other stuff but I did then I did the Irving marathon, the one in April, but I did the 5K.
Okay.
And that's when I met like ZFT, and I met this guy
Mhm.
named JT.
Okay.
Yeah,
At ZFT?
yeah, yeah.
JT? Okay. I don't know him, but yeah.
Okay. He like a good buddy of mine, but we met pretty much going to war in that race. And
Oh,
now
really?
yeah, he's a
That's cool.
yeah, and he's short, like real swole built guy.
Yeah.
And I remember this race. I'm pretty reckless at this time. So I remember at this race, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna actually line up with the people in the front because I was always like sitting in the middle because I'm like, I'm fast, but I'm not that fast. I don't want to be in the
Yeah.
front. But this time I was like, no, I'll go in the front and I'll try to go with the fast people, and I'm like, I'm probably gonna die, but
But you already knew that. Yeah.
yeah, like so yeah, he and I went to war. He took off on me in the last mile, but I remember I did like I think 20 minutes and like 15 seconds. So then
It's
after
great.
that, yeah, and I was still
I
on
mean,
the
you
hippie
PRing
side.
like crazy.
Yeah,
You're PRing like crazy, so that's good.
yeah, newbie gains pretty much. Yeah, yeah, like so then after that, then I'm really committed. Still not necessarily like training the way I'm supposed to, but I am running more at
Yeah.
least. But I didn't do any race in the summer because I was scared of the heat. And
Hey man, you should do 5Ks in the summer because that
well,
way you're and you probably know this now, but by October, November, you're just gonna be fast as hell,
oh yeah, yeah.
because
I mean, I do that now.
5Ks are the best thing to do, in
Yeah.
the summer. I mean, now you know because you've done a marathon now. So now you're like 5K is nothing.
Hmm.
So it's still
Yeah.
hard. 5Ks are tough.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. You decide I'm gonna train more. Did you start hanging out with the guy from ZFT or JT? Did you
Yeah.
go to run with him or what?
I mean, whenever I would see him, yeah, like
Oh, okay.
but no, he's a good friend of mine. Like we talk on the phone and stuff. Like, and actually, by the way, I forgot to mention, he's in his late 40s.
Okay.
I'm in that race. Like I remember it. That kind of let me know that people who are older can actually still roll.
Exactly.
Yeah, he did like 19 something at that time.
Yeah. Hey, I was 50, turned 50 and still did 1901 on a
Mhm.
downhill half marathon. I did two of them. So, I
Oh.
mean, I'm really old. So it can happen, like I feel like for my age, I'm pretty fast.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I mean, we're seeing people like him, and then hearing you, that lets me know that hey, I mean, I have plenty of time.
oh man,
I can still do that
you're
way.
young, dude.
Yeah. So
Yeah. You're going to be one of my young bucks that I push on. But anyways, so you run that. Did you run with a group at all? When did you start getting with the group? How'd you find that out?
so I was running with ZFT a little bit, like
Okay.
during that time. That was still 2022.
Did you find that helpful?
Yeah, I mean, if anything else, it was just like a good community of supportive
Yeah.
people to run
Yeah.
with.
It
Uh,
just kind of seemed like, yeah, most people, yeah, community was awesome, but you're just like, yeah, that's fine.
yeah, but
So you ran with ZFT a little bit, and then you started after that Irving one with
oh yeah,
JT.
yeah. No. I ran with well, here and there I ran with Pegasus. I
Oh, okay.
with Pegasus. I wasn't able to always get myself up in the morning to meet
Mm,
with them. But I remember the first time I ran with them, I couldn't finish the workout actually.
makes
Uh,
sense.
yeah, like but now I have a pretty key infamous race that most people, I'm not shy to talk about it now at this point. This was still in 2022. I think I needed this to happen to me to kind of learn. But yeah, Katy Trail 2022 5K.
Yeah.
I was trying to break 20 minutes since I mean I was so close in that other race.
Yeah. Very close.
And so and I think it threw me off because it's a later race as
Yeah.
well.
And it's hot.
Yeah. And so I remember I went out and my heart rate immediately went like 195, like, and it didn't go any lower. I kept pushing because, again, back to me, I had such a reckless mindset. I tell people now, I was like, back then, this might sound crazy, but I'm like, I thought it was supposed to feel like death. I thought you were supposed to suffer.
5Ks are tough like that
Yeah.
sometimes, but
Like,
I mean, look, you ran at 7 o'clock at night. You weren't used to running at 7. A race in Katy Trail's hot. And
yeah,
so
yeah. And it's
makes sense.
not an easy course either with that hill in the second mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that easy, but it's the heat in the late. But a lot of people do that. So I would never think that you're going to get your best time on that. Try, but
Yeah.
it's going to be
Well,
really difficult.
actually, I did. Like
Did?
at least at that time, yeah. I did 1941, but here's the issue. I remember I was blacking out in the middle of the race, but I was so stubborn I kept going.
Well,
Um,
fucking out. Jesus.
yeah, I finished, like I fight to the finish. I mean, people are
Yeah.
passing me up, but
Yeah.
I can't do anything about it. But I see the clock and I cross. I lay on the ground. Hear this lady saying, "Oh, you might not want to lay there." Like I try to push myself up, but I'm so weak I can't.
Wow.
And then a couple of people they kind of pull me off to the side, and they try to lean me on the railing, and I can't stand, and I mean I pass out.
Wow.
It was a really out of body experience. I mean, if I kind of just talk about that whole experience, like by itself, I mean, we'll be here a while. So, but yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, I passed out. That was like they had to call the ambulance. That was a defining experience for me. And so at
How
that,
so? What kind of what made you kind of well? How was it defining? I'm curious.
yeah, that made me think that I started doing like the easy running after that. So that was a race that kind of taught
That's
me.
good.
Yeah, like I remember I took like 9 days off because I just had to kind of reflect.
Readjust. Yeah.
I wasn't even sure if I was gonna run after that because I remember when I was going through that. Again, it was just like it really felt like I was out of my body or something. So I'm thinking like, man, I shouldn't have even been trying to run like I was like back then. And I didn't have any self-awareness to know that I'm not in the conditioning that I was back in high school to be able to run that hard. I'm still like maybe 40 something pounds heavier or something. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, I think I was like 165 or 170 probably at that time. When I got back into running, I was like close to 180. And,
Okay.
and I'm 5'6", so
Was it
I'm
muscle, right? It was just a little bit of
some of it was muscle, but I mean not all of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of get a little fat on you. Is really what
Yeah.
happened. Eating like Taco Bell and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those kind of things. All right. Let's kind of fast forward a little bit to so it was a defining moment. Did you start training? You said you started kind of doing some shorter
So
stuff. Did you?
still wasn't following a plan, but I was just doing my own thing.
Okay.
In fact, I was doing my own thing up until like the very beginning of last year.
Okay.
I just got
2025.
Yeah, like but I think I was just gaining more fitness just by like doing that more, like just more of the easy runs. Like I was
Yeah.
doing easy runs, and then I remember I didn't do like any hard workouts until like maybe some months after that, and my time actually improved. So I mean, like off of that,
So did the light bulb hit then? Is that when I was like, oh, I should do more of these slower runs or not really?
yeah, yeah, it hit
Okay.
at that point.
So let's fast forward. So you said you were running a little bit with Pegasus here and there, and you're running with, I mean, was there some specific group that you really started kind of hanging out with more often? And then just kind of, what did you do like when you fast forward to, kind of the group setting, or how did you meet Matt or the
Okay.
Sloths? What did that look like?
Okay, so that I met Matt in 2024. I knew about the sloths already, at least somewhat. Like they feel a little underground, so it's not always easy
Yeah,
to
they do.
find them. But I met Matt like when I was going to a workout with Train Pegasus. This was
Hmm.
summer of 2024.
Okay.
I'd already kind of seen like his name here and there, saw he was,
Yeah.
really fast, but I never actually formally met him. And so I did at this time I was going to Pegasus every Tuesday and I was just asking people like what their workouts were. Like I
Yeah.
didn't plan. And if someone said something I liked, I'm like, okay, I'm jumping in there. And so
Yeah.
I remember him and Mimi had like some 1,000 repeats. And so I jumped in those. And I remember at that time I was actually like really, really fast as far as like just my speed. Like still not endurance, but like just raw speed. I was pretty up there. And so I was able to hang with him. Well, I could hang with Mimi a little bit. I still couldn't hang with Matt even
Yeah.
then. But I remember I was dying. Like I could do it, but I was dying. I mean, and they looked like they were a little bit more controlled than I was. So
They've
yeah,
been, Mimi is an elite athlete, so she's been doing it for a while. And that, he's just, he's been doing it for a while too.
yeah, yeah. And so after that workout, Matt, he followed me on Strava. I followed him. And so I mean, at that point, like, it's like, okay, well, we know each other. But I didn't start getting coached by him until after BMW 2024.
Did you do the half, I
Yeah,
guess?
yeah, I
Yeah.
did. And the thing is, I decided to reach out to him
Hmm.
because I wasn't really happy with that half marathon time. I PR'd. I think I did 123 or 124.
Pretty good. It's really
Yeah,
good. Was
but
that your first or no?
no, no, no,
Half?
no. My first half was in it was BMW 2022.
Okay.
I,
So
I did,
you've been kind of running halves a little bit.
yeah, I've done 8 at this point now. Yeah,
Okay. Got it.
yeah,
So, you're not you kind of know what it takes to run some distance by
yeah.
that time.
hmm
Okay. But you wanted to do better than 123. What'd you want to get?
I wanted to do like sub 120 that time, but
Okay.
just based on like I remember at that time I'd run like a 16:57 5K. And so
Yeah.
I'm thinking like all these other people who have slower 5K times, like they're like I should be able to beat them in a half. But it wasn't the case. And again, at that time I wasn't training I still wasn't training optimally on my own, even though I was
Yeah.
training like I was consistently training and I was doing pretty well. I was definitely in a better position than I was 2022 for sure.
Did you
But
lose all that weight
yeah,
by then?
yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, you looked pretty darn good last time I saw you.
Yeah, I mean, after I lost a total of I think 30 pounds. I'm like I float in like
Yeah.
the high 140s, maybe like 150 on the dot now.
Okay.
Yeah, right around 30 pounds I
So
lost
I
total.
hit up down to 139 in the summer, so I was very happy about that. It's probably a little less than usual. Usually I weigh about 150-ish. So,
Okay.
but and I think weight helps from a time
Yeah,
standpoint to be optimal,
yeah,
definitely think it's a big deal.
yeah, yeah. It's there's limits to like how much weight before it gets like detrimental. But yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying like for sure. For me, I could tell my optimal weight was 130 to 140
okay.
when I ran my half because I ran like a 126 back in September. But I was training a lot more and I lost quite a bit of weight. I've not been
Mhm.
down to that low in a long time, and it translated though really well. My
Yeah.
wife told me, please don't lose any more weight at that time. But anyhow, I digress. All right, so you call Matt. You say, I think I
Mhm.
could do better than that. What do you say?
Yeah, he was excited to coach me, and so we got started. And I he gives very creative workouts. I'm always excited to see what he has for the upcoming week.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
and I'm pretty sure the weakness he saw in me was just the endurance, like not getting enough mileage. Me
Yeah,
and I mean I had enough endurance to be able to run a good 5K, and of course,
pretty
but
good half. 123 is not
yeah,
slow. No, I understand what you're saying,
I
but
mean
most people can't run that fast, to be honest. Like
underperforming, but I mean still a good time.
underperforming, yes, you were at a 16 something, probably underperforming now. Fair.
Yeah. But, so yeah, he put me on a lot of threshold stuff and a lot of like just more consistent mileage like last year. And I've seen big
Yeah,
gains. I noticed subtle things like years ago to even up to like 2024, I'd finish races and be like gassed. Like not dangerous to where I'm like about to pass out or something, but just like, lay out
just
on the
yes,
ground
yeah.
and that doesn't really happen anymore. I've noticed those types of like differences. Like I'm just a lot stronger. And I mean,
Like you're running like 70 and 80 miles a week at points
well, not
or
no,
more.
not me. I haven't been able to go above like 55.
Okay, all right. So you
But
had 55 at the most.
yeah, but I've
Which I
been
think is
extremely
fine.
consistent with
Yeah,
like between 40 55.
I like it. All right. So, did you get him to train you or coach you for the half first? Was that what you were thinking?
No, the first race that he coached me for was this Capital 10K in Austin.
Okay.
Yeah, I like jumping around in the distances and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did this Captain K and
Captain Carl. Captain K is what it's called.
no, Cap 10K.
Cap 10K. Got it.
Yeah.
I thought you said Captain 10K. Got it. All right, Cap. So you did this,
Yeah.
and what was your goal, and what'd you do? You
I
look
wanted
happy.
to.
You don't look happy.
No, no, no,
So,
no.
okay.
I was pretty happy with that. I guess I'm thinking I want to go a lot faster now the next time I run a 10K. But at this time, I did like 35 minutes and 36 seconds, and
Wow,
it's a hilly course too.
that's really good.
Yeah. I beat I only ran the 10K one time in college, and I beat that time, so that's a
I'm sure.
big deal for me. But
Did you get a place? Like I would think you would get.
no, because it's such a big race. I think I got
Okay,
like
it's big.
70th or something, but it was like I think almost 20,000.
Oh wow. Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
I'll take it. But
It's a
yeah,
great time.
yeah. Then we had a 5K cycle, in the summer, and that's when I met you.
Yeah.
And then after that, then we went into the marathon cycle, Houston.
Did you run like during that marathon cycle? Did you run a half marathon to kind of gauge yourself or no?
Yeah, that was BMW again. Yeah.
Oh, so you ran it in 2025.
Yeah, I've run BMW every year since I've been here. So
Okay.
I've run it
What'd you
like
do? How'd you do in BMW this time?
I did a big PR, 5 minute PR. I did 1:17:50.
Wow. Wow. Now tell me you were happy with that at least.
Hey, I was ecstatic about that. Yeah.
Talk about training. So you decided to, so Matthew Campbell is your coach, just in case I didn't say that out loud. I know I said
Yeah.
Matt Campbell. He's been on the podcast a couple times.
Hmm.
He's pretty well known, especially within the sloths and others. He's a very good runner. But so did he talk you into it, or you just like, hey, you see all these people doing it, him and others, you better do it? Or what happened there?
You're asking, did he talk me into doing a BMW or
No, the marathon. Sorry.
Okay, so pretty much, I guess when I was training for the 10K, he started putting me on like 16-mile runs and things like that here and there. And now at that point, I hadn't run when I was running on my own, I hadn't trained like higher than like 14 miles.
Yeah.
So after hitting these types of like those distances, I started to wonder. I was like, it started to kind of cross my mind. I'm like, so maybe I can do a full. Now, I've had plenty of other people try to get me to do fulls, like people in like Run It Up and
Yeah.
like that, like over the years. As reckless as I was back then, I like years ago, I had enough self-awareness to say that I didn't want to do a full at that time. So,
It's probably
um,
smart.
yeah, yeah, I think so. And so, yeah, but after doing these types of like big workouts for like 16 miles and stuff, I was like, so maybe I can do a full, like maybe it's time. Because I remember I told these people, like, I'm not saying I'm not gonna do it. I'm just saying I'm not gonna do it right now. I'll do it later sometime, but eventually later came. And so, yeah, but no, he didn't pressure me or anything. I just decided to do it on my own.
So tell me a little bit about kind of the training program. What kinds of things did you do that were different? When you started training for a full marathon, obviously, you put you on some 16 milers, but when you officially said, hey, I'm going to do the marathon, I'm going to start training. Talk a little bit about the training plan. What did a week look like for you?
So I would run 5 or 6 days out of the week. Usually bare minimum it would be like at least 6 to 7 miles. I remember it would be a lot of like tempos. A lot of tempos, like, and maybe some speed sprinkled here and there to just kind of maintain speed. But it was a lot of like maybe like 3 mile tempos at like marathon pace, 6 mile tempos at marathon pace. Things like that, or maybe like slightly faster. One of my favorite workouts that he had for during one of my long runs. I think it was a total of 18 miles. I think it was 7 miles easy, then 10 times 3 minutes at 6 minute pace, 6 flat pace with 1 minute recovery. But the 1 minute is like at marathon pace, which was like 6:30.
That's the recovery?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very, yeah, like I said, he has some very creative workouts, and that one burned, but in a way it was a little fun. I mean, and it felt good to be able to actually do that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's awesome. Like, was there any like, hey, this week you're just going to do a 10-mile just slow run, or was there any of that, or was it always kind of adding in some speed to some of those
So,
longer runs?
so it seemed like every other week he would have like a workout within the long run, and then other times it would be like just a steady long run at whatever pace I kind of feel.
Okay.
Like, I mean, it could be easy, but I can't really stand to run that easy for like 16 or 18 miles or whatever. I always have to kind of push the pace at least a little bit.
It's in your nature, man. You're not going to stand that the whole time. So that makes sense. Says you kind of built up, did you feel pretty confident going into, well, one, you ran Dallas half or BMW Dallas half, and so I'm sure you felt pretty confident going into the marathon. How'd you feel
So I was
before?
actually no, I actually was worried. Like just cause I mean I know I did that half marathon fast, but I remember I was supposed to at some point hit like 70 and 80 mile weeks, and I never did that. And I also was slacking on my strength training. So and I think I only had, and I know Matt, he kind of adjusted some things to make sure that I was just gonna like not get hurt or something. But
Yeah. What's the reason you didn't get up to 70? Was it just because you just didn't?
I remember
Would you
one
tell
week
me what
I
it
was
was?
gonna try to get to 63 or 65 for the first time, and I had a good shot at
Yeah.
doing it. But then I remember I did the Turkey Trot okay, that week, but after that, like my hip was hurting, so then I had to skip the long run. So,
Got it.
so yeah,
No, I think that's smart though. Like, because you've never run that much in your life.
Yeah.
So you're running a lot of miles for you,
Hmm.
and you're actually getting better. So that's good. But you're doing a lot of speed within those miles, tempo
Hmm.
and things like that. So I know maybe one day you want to get to 70 or 80, but I think what you're doing is
Yeah. Yeah. I think even though like last year I only got up to like 55, I think the fact that I was so consistent with like 45 to 50, 55, I think that helped me out a lot because the year before, and I guess when I was left to my own devices, nobody's holding me accountable and I'm just doing whatever.
yeah.
50 was a super week back then, but usually I'm like 35 is a nice solid week.
Yeah.
And then maybe some other week, maybe I hit like 20 or something. So it's just kind of just up and down. But, just the fact that it's more consistent now, I think that does
Well, I
wonders.
think for a marathon, you have to be way more consistent. And there's no cutting corners, in my opinion, to get to do really well at a marathon. It's rare that if you don't do the work, you're not going to do real well. That's rare that you do. And if you do okay, you're going to be hurting at the end. Or you're going to be hurting anyways
Yeah.
without proper training. You're probably going to hurt even with your first. So let's get to the marathon day. Tell me about it, how you're feeling, thinking, and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. I was staying with a buddy of mine, like in an Airbnb. He's used to waking up at like 3 a.m.
Oof.
And so it was it was nothing for him. I told him, I was like, look, just wake me up at like 3:30. Give me an extra 30 minutes. And so yeah, he woke me up and we got ready for the race. He was doing the half, and
Okay.
uh,
I did the half too. So it's fun.
yeah, I
Way
want to
easier
do the
than
half
the
next
full.
year, but yeah, yeah. But
It's a good one to do too. Really good,
yeah,
as you know. You've done the full now. Okay, so go ahead.
yeah. And so yeah, this is my first time doing, I guess, Chevron in general. So like,
Yeah.
um, so heard good things about it, and so when I got there, like, yeah, it pretty much lived up to what everyone was telling me. And so I'm walking towards the starting line, and I'm seeing for one, I've never seen like pacers for like. I think I saw a pacer for like the 115 half. I never saw anything like I never saw pacers that fast. So
I don't think I have either. I didn't see those guys, but I'm not surprised.
yeah, so and I mean and yeah, it's hype. They're talking about the elites and everything like that. So, the energy's up there. And so
Yeah.
I'm going through my plan thinking I'm like, don't get overzealous and go out too fast. And so I line up behind the 255 pacer. Looking back on it, I probably could have lined up a little further up. But again, I'm trying
Hmm.
to just be a little conservative and, like, because again, I hadn't ran beyond like 21 miles and I did that only one time. Like, I have a lot of
So you kind
encouragement.
of had in mind that you're going to do a 255. Is that what you had in mind? That 255?
So I had an A goal and B goal and a C goal, pretty much
Mhm.
250 being the A goal, 255 being the B goal. And at worst, I wanted to at least break three.
Okay. I mean, it's fair. And hopefully you're happy with what you got
Yeah.
because it's your first. All right. So yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, so the race starts and I'm going and I go out conservatively and then I kind of get into the rhythm a little bit. And the first 10 miles, I'm consciously holding myself back just a little bit to, try to just make sure I'm not going too fast too early. I end up passing the like well, I catch up to the 255 pacer because I actually lose contact with them, but then I catch them. I think after like 3 miles, and then at some point it feels like they're going a little slow, so then I just run away from them, and
After a couple miles?
I think, yeah, I stayed with them from mile 3 to mile 6, maybe, or mile 5,
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, yeah, like I'm just some people are passing me up, I'm passing some people up. I don't really care, I'm just trying to do my own thing.
It's a big marathon.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. And so yeah, I catch up to somebody I think at around mile 8, this guy. I mean, didn't know who he was. I just started talking to him a little bit. And he told me something that I think helped me later. Like he so I mean, I told him it was my first full and then he asked me how I was feeling. I was like, I think I'm feeling okay. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to feel better than I'm feeling at this point or not, but I mean, I think I'm okay right now. And he told me like it's the marathon, you're gonna go through like some ups and downs, and I think
Hmm.
that was his 14th marathon, so he was experienced. And so like so I ended up separating from him. And yeah, what he said helped me because I remember I went through a rough patch at I think like mile 11, like mental rough patch, and I think it started to warm up just a tad, and I guess like my body had to kind of adjust. And so yeah, I went through that rough patch probably for like a mile or two, and then I hit the halfway point, and then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, usually I'd be done, but
Nope. But I mean, you've been training, so but it's funny that mile 10 or 11 you started kind of thinking those kind of things.
yeah, I mean, I shook it off, I think, once I got to like 13 and a half or 14, because I'm just thinking, like, I'm more than halfway there. I'm like, I've done more than what I have left. That's what I'm kind of thinking to myself.
From a race standpoint, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about like a whole lot of people who I was telling some people, hey, I'm not sure about this. And they weren't having it. They were telling me that no, Ryan, you you got it. And so I'm thinking about all these people who, cheering me on like through the app. I'm getting text messages on like in the middle of the race and stuff. So like
Do you have your earphones on or something? You can hear it, or are you checking your text during your run?
I could kind of see the preview of the text like on my phone. I didn't open it up, but I could like see the preview of like some of the stuff that they were saying.
Like you have your phone running, just and you
Oh
can
yeah,
see the
yeah. I
preview.
ran with my phone. Yeah, I don't do that for
Okay.
like the shorter distances, half marathon and down, but for the full, you run with the phone.
But I mean, you're checking it, like you can see, like you're looking at it when running, just kind of so and so send me a text.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'd never do that. I mean, I might would carry it, but I'm not gonna pull it out. Let's say he's texting me.
I mean, I had it in my hand the whole time, but
Okay, wow. I can't have stuff in my like. I'll carry a water bottle and that's it.
oh, oh,
No
see,
way I
yeah,
can
I don't
carry a
like to
phone in my
carry water
hands.
bottles. I mean, it feels heavier. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. That's an interesting little tidbit there. All right. Well, that's cool. I mean, maybe you're getting people were kind of good job. Go, go, go. It's probably helpful.
Yeah. And
And
at that,
then
I mean, after like halfway, it's really just mental.
yeah,
I I catch up to a pack of some guys. Me and this other guy were kind of just like I remember I was kind of drafting off of him for a while for like maybe a mile 15 to like maybe 16 or something. And then he starts drafting off for me, and I remember I kind of moved to the side a little bit, and then he goes right behind me, and I say, well, I guess I was doing this before, so it's okay.
fair enough.
And yeah, then after that, both of us are working together a little bit, and we're just running with this pack of I think two or three other people. I don't think they liked it, but I'm like, we're just trying to make it. So we're doing what we have to do. And so like pretty much each mile is passing, and I'm just trying to just make sure, I'm staying mentally positive, I'm staying determined. I know like other people are, they talk about like hitting the wall at mile 18, mile 20, things like that. I'm keeping that in mind, and I'm like, okay, I hit mile 18. I'm still feeling okay, relatively speaking, at least as okay as
Yeah.
I can be. And
You're taking goos and things like that?
yeah,
Okay.
I was taking gels every like 3.5 miles.
Okay. So I mean, that helps,
Yeah, yeah,
A lot of
absolutely.
people hit the wall because they're not, one, taking gels or properly fueling. So it's
Yeah.
good.
And I'm grabbing water from every water station that I see. Like I think I learned a lot from like some of your other interviews with other athletes. So yeah.
Well, that's good. All right. So
Um
21, 22, you're still hauling ass and still feeling good, or?
yeah, actually surprisingly like I was. Like I think once I hit 20 I kind of like I'm kind of starting to feel it a little bit, but I think I'm pretty good at holding a steady pace as long as it's not killing me. So I'm actually running extremely steady. I remember I remember once I hit mile 10, the plan was to just like go into my race pace before,
Yeah.
because the first 10 I was kind of just a little bit slower than the race pace, but not by much. But then the second 10 miles, like lock in on race
Bless you.
pace. And I think for those, each mile was probably like within 5 seconds of each other for those 10 miles, even going into,
It's pretty good.
yeah. And then I'm going into like mile 22. At this point, I'm actually catching different points where like if I step wrong, like I have to kind of watch how I step, because at this point, like if I step the wrong way, then the cramp is going to just hit me. And
Yeah.
so like, I had a couple of scares, but then I was still
It
like,
happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then I think when I hit like mile 23, or I remember I had like a 5K left to go, I stepped on some uneven part of the ground, and that's what did it. Like I was avoiding the cramps all the way up into that point. And then like I caught myself, but then like my right hamstring tightened up, and then like even up here, like all up
Yeah.
here started tightening up.
Everything starts to hurt.
Yeah, and so then I had to stop to kind of work it out. And then the people who I was passing before, they were passing me back up. That sucks. And I could see their focus. I'm like, they're just trying to make it. They're just trying to make it too.
Mhm.
But so then after maybe a minute or so, I start back again. And I remember like as I'm getting back in my running form, like this is like here is starting to like it's still like cramping up a little bit, but I'm thinking I don't want to stop anymore. So for maybe like 30 seconds, I think I run like with a chicken wing, kind of like this, just to try to like muscles relax.
For those that looking at audio, you could go to YouTube and watch him do, his shoulder and stuff. Anyways,
Yeah, yeah.
because some people are just on Apple or Spotify listening.
Oh yeah. But after that, since I cramped once, it seems like it's gonna keep happening,
Yeah.
like here and there. And so I had to stop, I think, two other times, like briefly to try to run.
Wow.
Like not as long these next few times, but I did have to stop a couple times to try to like stretch out my hamstring again. And so the second time, actually first
You're at mile 23 already, or 24, and you're
yeah
stopping.
yeah
Okay.
yeah the second time I stopped, I think I was at mile 24.
Okay. Wow.
And then
Hey,
Rachel, I don't know if you know her, Rachel Sanchez.
I know her. Yeah.
Yeah. She passed me and she was like, "No, Ryan, not now, not now." And I'm like, yeah, I'll be okay. I'm gonna make it. I'm just gonna, I just gotta stretch this out." And so yeah, like I start back again. The crowd is extremely supportive. They're like, way to get back in it, And so, like
That's great.
yeah. And then I see Matt at like mile 25, and I'm thinking at that point, I'm like, oh man, if only I hadn't cramped, I would have looked better with passing coach. Now I look like I'm struggling.
It's normal. Don't worry about that.
And then I had to stop one more time, I think like with maybe a mile or maybe a kilometer to go,
The
something like
hell,
that.
Ryan? Jeez.
And then at this point, the other guy who we were kind of drafting off of each other way back in mile 15, I had lost contact. Like he had dropped off, I guess at mile 20,
Yeah.
but he caught up again. And he actually stops to try to to ask if I'm okay. I'm like, no, hey, go. I'm gonna make it. I'll be okay. I promise. I'm gonna make it. So so after that, I get started again, and then I can kind of feel the tightness kind of work coming back, but I'm like, I'm not stopping again. So I changed my running form a little bit just to kind of
Mm.
just loosen up my hamstring, and it
Yeah.
works. And so then we're on that exciting final stretch, and yeah, at that point I'm not stopping. I get like one of my friends, he finished the half. He actually gets on and he runs on the side of me,
Pushes you a little.
yeah, to kind of post up, yeah, and he's recording and posting that video or whatever.
I love it.
Yeah, and I'm looking at him. I say, hey man, them cramps kicked my ass the last 3 miles. And so yeah, yeah, that made for a real funny video. And then after I'm seeing like I think 800 meters left, 600 meters left, 400 meters left, and I mean I'm just I'm just hauling. And then I remember as I see the finish line, the tightness wants to kind of come back again, and I'm like, it's almost like my body knows, but I'm not stopping. Right here, I
Yeah.
see it. So I kind of straight leg, like I kind of run like with straight leg just to try to hobble to the finish, and then I cross and yeah, I
Sure, you're
remember.
happy it was done.
Yeah. I mean, it was a surreal feeling for a while because it was just like I really did that.
Yeah.
And I hear about people getting like emotional and stuff after they finish the marathon and stuff. I didn't necessarily get emotional, but I remember like after maybe a few minutes, I kind of a little bit of a flutter for a second, like, wow, I really did this. And I didn't, and again at that time I was having
Well,
doubts.
we can call that emotion. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's a little bit emotional. Maybe you didn't cry or anything, but
Yeah. A little
you're
me
just like, I
having
don't know.
me and I guess being
Yeah,
proud. Yeah.
that's awesome.
And yeah, I remember even after when I got on the massage table that they had,
Mhm.
when I laid down, I remember my body was just shivering. And I looked at the lady and I was like, I think my body's in shock right now.
Probably.
Yeah. And so but then after that, yeah, I mean I'm extremely proud, and then like the next 2 days I'm walking extremely slow and
Of course.
and
Well,
stuff.
man, that's amazing. Look, that's normal. You still ran a 2:53:01.
Yeah.
So just think if you didn't cramp up, who knows what you ran. you know?
Yeah,
So,
I'm pretty sure I lost like maybe 2 minutes. It would have been close to 250 on the
yeah,
dot, something around there.
yeah, I don't disagree. But hey, that's just normal. It's a great learning experience for you.
Yeah.
What's next for you? If you are you thinking about another marathon in the future, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so I knew I was gonna want to do another marathon after this, no matter what
Yeah.
the outcome was, because like whatever I ran, I was just gonna be like, I want to go faster next time. And so
Of course.
I don't have one planned in the immediate future. I don't know which, it may be next year. I'm not
Mm,
it's not I doubt it's gonna be this year. It's probably gonna be next year. I'm
okay.
not sure which one yet. I need to discuss that with Matt, and then we can decide a good one. I would love to do Houston again, but I mean, I already said I wanted to do the half there. I want to try the half out because I heard that course is really fast.
Really fast. It's a great one. Yeah. But
Yeah,
you could do a half anytime at
yeah.
Houston.
I think coming up now, have I'm doing the Cherry Blossom 10 miler.
Okay.
Yeah,
That'd
again,
be fun.
yeah. I don't like to like train like the same distances like
Yeah.
consecutively like that. I like to
I
jump.
mean, marathon would be tough anyways to do that. Do
Yeah.
something a little different. I love it. Well, you qualified for Boston then, right? So do
Uh,
you think,
so the standard time is like 2:55,
oh,
but
because you're so young,
yeah, I know they do that on that buffer thing. So
sometimes we'll see.
yeah,
We'll
like
see. I mean, because they did change some stuff to where marathons that were like downhill. So they penalize people that do specific downhill.
eh,
At some point, like the Revel races at 5,200 feet down, they'll penalize you 10 minutes.
mm,
And then 5 minutes from some others and things like that. So positive is maybe that lessens the amount of people that get in, and maybe the time kind of gets closer to that for you, that 2:55. I don't know. We'll see what
yeah,
happens this time around, or more
mm,
specifically next time. So, cool. Was there anything that I missed I mean, we talked for a long time, it feels like, but did I
yeah.
miss anything? You wish you could say, hey, we should have talked about this, or did we cover everything?
I don't think anything really comes to mind. Yeah, this was it's pretty extensive.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on to DFW Running Talk. I really appreciate it. Your story is really cool. It's inspiring, and
Mm,
you learned a lot, I think, and I think that's just normal. The sky's the limit for you, depending on wherever you want to go from a running standpoint. You now have got not just the talent, but you've got some stuff behind you. You know how to run,
yeah,
long runs, all those things, and I think that it's going to be pretty awesome. So. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to another DFW Running Talk. Don't forget to go to dfwrunningtalk.substack.com and go to our newsletter and subscribe. Then you will never miss an episode. Ryan, thanks again for coming. Thanks
hey,
everybody for tuning in.
yeah, thanks for having me, Chris. It's an honor.
Thank you, sir.